All right, let's do a quick little sound check. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I got notifications going off all over the place. Look at that. Josh in with the fancy yellow. It's funny, everybody's it's a little bit low. All right, hold on one sec. All right, that should be a little bit better. Yeah, it looks like the red bar is moving more. Yeah, I had to unplug the headphones, and when I plugged the headphones back in, it like reset everything. So every day, like different people have different like things, different colors. So Josh has a yellow KTS, a blue crown, and then purple letters. I'm not sorry, not purple, not pink. He's pinking it up today. Um, all right, so let's go through the market. Sorry, I was a little bit late today. I had to deal with something on a personal level, and we'll see. Hopefully, the whole stream stays steady. Hold on one sec. Can you give me more? Um, I got that message, and we had power kind of flipped a couple different times. Yeah. So we'll see. I never got a message from Verizon that said they had sensed a commercial, problem like that before, but we'll see. Hopefully the whole stream makes it. All right. So looking at the markets today, obviously the pound was the big news of the day, right? Major pound weakness, both in the pound dollar as well as the pound yen, and even in the euro yen. I'm sorry, the euro pound. We saw that one was finally green after being red for so many days in a row. For the most part, the dollar itself, though, was probably, obviously a little bit more strength, right? Euro dollar was down 41, pound yen was basically flat at -4, dollar Swiss up 29, dollar CAD up 77. That's probably besides the pound, that's the big move of the day. Aussie dollar down just 23, really nothing big there. And then obviously the two big movers are the 115 down on the pound dollar and the 126 on the pound yen. So the pound was the mover of the day today, guys, without a doubt. The non-farm number came in today. Almost, it's marked off as green, but for me, that came in almost. What? What's broken? We'll just bring it back up then. Sorry, my the oldest is actually going to sit through chart school today. Um, the fact that it was only if it was within like 250,000, I think is absolutely amazing on such a huge number. The fact that it was so close, absolutely kind of just, I think it's just crazy. So coming in about 20 minutes, we will see the trade balance, and then we'll start getting the Chinese numbers, and then New Zealand at 11 p.m. we will get the inflation expectations. So again, a bunch of news in the next hour and a half, and then we'll obviously get the trade balance tonight, and then U.S. dollar denominated trade balance, which obviously is a little bit different. So, kind of chock full of news. Going down, let me pull the oil figures for today, and you guys can see right here. Oil came in at 4.6. I'm actually surprised that it was that low. We talked last night, it was about 8.5, and I expected probably around like 5.5 to 6.5 is what I was assuming we were going to be. 4.6, getting better, right? Getting better, getting closer back to where it should be. Obviously, still a little bit, on the lower side, a little less than expectation, but not zero. It's not the other direction. So that will be kind of interesting to see how that unfolds. Going into tomorrow. So tomorrow is kind of the big day, right? Tomorrow is the day that the pound has all its news. It's crazy, right? All this pound movement today, but yet tomorrow is the day we're supposed to be watching for the pound. So, with all the monetary policy and the official bank rates, I think there will be most likely, there will be the opportunity for some more movement in the pound. Again, a lot of this will be European session, and then it will probably just peter out, and, we won't see much more. The big number tomorrow morning is going to be this 8:30 unemployment claims. Like I said, it's supposed to be about 3 mil. Don't forget, we have the drawing. Drawing is now closed. So if you're not into it already, we'll have to see, it's done, right? Let me see. Well, can I go back? Let me see. How many people? Yeah, so it looks like we had 8 people enter, and there's about 120 pip chips on the line for the news tomorrow, right? Right here, right? Will it be above or below? And then, we'll see how it turns out. All I got to do is hit one of these two, and we're good to go. So we'll get these numbers. I'll actually save this for chart school tomorrow night. Why the bird won't sound so bad. I'll save this for tomorrow night. We'll go ahead and hit the winner or the loser, and we'll figure out who's taking the extra pip chips home. And again, that automatically goes. I don't have to give you guys anything for it. It automatically goes out there. So we'll do that. So that's the big thing tomorrow is going to be this. Now, this 10 a.m., there could definitely be some movement based off of that. A lot of people are looking at the European Union thinking just weakness, weakness, weakness. So there could be, not Ernest. Ernest is not going to win. Hey, you guys all chipped in and took down the boss yesterday, right? Josh was able to do it. And Ernest's victory was like, yeah, but look how many pip chips it took to dethrone me. So he still didn't get 2. Now, if Josh gets 2, I think his daughter gets free gas for the rest of the year. Although, Josh, I don't know if you saw, Maryland canceled school for the rest of the 2019-2020 school year. To be fair, open the door. Yeah, I'm hoping that yours go back. Yeah, I'm just like, what? And then if you guys saw my statement, the second post in there was like, e-learning is still on. I was like, no. I was hoping that they would cancel the e-learning too, but I couldn't get that lucky. So I don't know. But anyway, so that's going to be all the movement and nothing else until the RBA monetary policy statement tomorrow night. So again, tomorrow morning should be, offer a number of different explosions as far as, trade setups go. So we'll kind of dive into the charts and look at it. As far as what the news was today, Chinese central bank finance minister at odds over funding, right? Okay, sure. I'm fine with that. U.S. claim taking virus cuts at 33. Yeah. Crude oil rises. Finance minister. Yeah. ECB. Again, we knew that yesterday. Friday's job report will be one of the worst ever. That's interesting. Yeah, we'll see how that non-farm number comes in. And again, I mean, worst ever. It's all relative. We've never had something like this before. It will go back up. So, I think this is interesting too. Okay, the EU recovery plan to be ready in weeks and approved by June. We'll see. I mean, they're already talking, again, I guess we're, not that far from June, but I'm curious to see what they want to do. They're in a different situation. Their rates have basically already been at zero. They never really raised their rates whatsoever. So they don't really have a whole lot of ammunition on what they can do. And remember, each country kind of has their own monetary policy. So it's it'd be interesting to hear what the recovery plan is going to be, because a lot of, finance-based issues are done on the actual country level. So when the ECB is doing something to kind of get the country back up, everybody's situation is different over there. And that's why, when the situation with the pigs, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain, that's why there's a lot of problems, right? They were talking about leaving because, their ECB solution doesn't help those individual countries. So it's interesting that they're going to have a recovery plan that's going to be approved based off the entire commission, even though every country is going to, need a different solution to be able to recover. So I think that's going to be very, very interesting when it comes out. I'm not going to say that this is the nail in the coffin for the euro, but if there are some countries that get a bigger benefit than others, I could see more people leaving the European Union. And then we can, instead of having Brexit, we could have a couple other fancy names for it. So it could be a little interesting. I'm worried about Ernest's mental well-being with the national meat shortage coming on. Yeah. I mean, I heard wholesale beef prices are high. I don't know. I mean, maybe Ernest will flip and become vegan for the next 6 months and do nothing but like smoke tofu or something. I don't know. You watch his feed, guys. I mean, he put, Ernest is, he's an interesting guy. The other day he made pasta. I'm like, what the heck is this? He makes bread and pasta too. He doesn't just smoke. But yeah, I'm wondering how the meat shortage is going to affect Ernest. Although, you know what? I feel like we can have a national meat shortage, but that doesn't count for Texas. I feel like Texas will still be okay. I'll have to ask my sister. She's over in Austin. I'll be like, hey, you guys still got meat? Can you get meat? I went to Costco and they were out of wings, beef ribs. Oh, Jesus. See what happens? Ernest, this is called karma. You made those wet wings and now nobody can get them. See, if you would have just stayed with the dry wings, we would have been good, but you had to curse us and switch over to the wet wings. That's what happens. It's called karma. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump into the charts. First things first. So let's talk about the Aussie. So on the 30-minute, let me refresh these charts. All right. Here, obviously, is where current price is. Where we were last night was sitting right up in this area, right over in here. Okay, so we did come back up, and I mentioned hitting this zone again. We've, obviously we got chopped up through it back and forth, and there's a little bit of a zone, but we left that on there to see what the reaction would look like. And as you can see, price at about 3 o'clock in the morning ended up hitting that zone again, right? Again, came back and hit it again, and then continued to crash all the way down. So the initial kind of assessment of what we expected to happen here is what happened, right? So now we're bouncing off this bottom section here. And again, bottoms, tops, back in the bottom. Question is, will it rally from here? I think it's an interesting situation right now. The bounce is showing us some dollar strength. With the news tomorrow, I don't know. I think that 3 million is an interesting number because being 3 million, I think they just pick something, right? It's like, 3 million, right? It's too, it's too round of a number. So I think we're going to get a miss. The question is it going to be bad enough? And with the unemployment number, is there going to be talk of a stimulus? And if so, that'll be dollar weakness and this thing will continue to fall. It's not a bad zone that it's bouncing off of. It does have some areas above. Obviously, the pink zone, which is right back into the white zone that we talked about, is another area where there is selling. But we do have this level of basing right here. Let me change this to white so we're staying consistent. Yeah, just make sure the door's closed. All right. The boy was getting... if you're cold too, Asher, you can close that window. So we have another level of basing right above where we are. One of the ways that I'm looking at this right now, and again, we do have news coming up in what? About 13 minutes, okay? If we're able to kind of push up this last little bit, which is only about 10 pips away, we could be looking for another short back to the downside. So we're kind of in the middle. I would have ideally liked us to be down here, right? When news was coming in, because then obviously that's a long trade setup. But right now we're kind of stuck between two different levels. So it's not the ideal news trade setup right now for this trade balance. This is what I'm looking for, like on the larger time frames here. Like when you go up one time frame, you can see there's that wick over wick. Again, that wick over wick is kind of boxed that area off. But in looking at this, the last time we really had strong movement was once again up in this range. So I really think that what we're going to have to do in this one, I think, to be on the safe side, I think we need to focus on this top section up here, up there around 64.42. This is a nice level, but it is in the middle. It did take a bounce right off of this hourly level. So I think that's probably safe as we go back up top. If we were sitting in this little zone right here, or if we do rally in the next 12 minutes, then there is definitely a short-term position that we could take. Again, it's not a very big risk level. I mean, you're only talking about 8 pips, so it is rather small. But I think as far as overnight trade setups, particularly going into tomorrow morning, I think this 64.42 is probably the best looking one. Yeah, it's probably best. I don't want to force this one too much, but I think that's the best area for us right now. All right. Let me see. Hold on. Go up to So, let me look at this. I'm going to look at this little level real quick. Hold on. Yeah, that's actually not a bad level. What I was trying to say is if we could play the break of this zone, but it looks like we got another one right here. Yeah, right now I think I'm going to wait till it comes back up again. Wait till it gets a little bit more of a pull. Just kind of, I want to be cautious right now if this kind of turns and flips. I want to make sure it gets some range. From this zone, obviously it's a very, small risk, but you got to see where it brings us back down to. It's kind of bringing us back down in that range. And, yeah, feel like it's forcing it. I feel like up top is going to be probably the most conservative. I think that'll be the best idea is, putting it up top. All right, so let's go over. Let's see if Euro Yen gives us anything a little bit better. No, Euro Yen is just pushing lower. As you can see, Euro Yen bounced off that 4-hour zone as well. Now I do like this zone here. So I do like this level of basing right here. Let's see what that looks like on the lower time frame. Yeah, it's right here. So there are two zones. One zone sitting right here, about 12. Yeah, Yeah, I like that some. This one, although it's painted here, it's actually from back in here. So yeah, I think that's my, I like that one there. And also, if you were looking at this, that's about 30 pips up. Looking across at the Aussie dollar, you're also talking about, this is 42 pips. So it puts two different positions into kind of a higher curve short on both those trades. And this one, it kind of has a basing level right here. There's a wick over wick here, but neither one of them is super clean. So again, this is kind of a, you take either one, the Aussie dollar or Aussie yen, whatever one makes the most sense for you. But they're basically the same setup. Rallying back up to the upper end of this curve, taking the short, rallying up to this basing level. Again, last time price was here, boom, 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 pull back, boom, boom, boom. So again, very healthy push off of that same level. And that is coming in at approximately 86.36. All right. 86.36. All right, let's jump over the euro yen. So euro yen. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but this was what we had marked off last night. Looking of a break of this level. Now, you guys remember this conversation? I said I didn't necessarily like this for long anymore, right? Why? Because we were basing right in front of it. Okay. But what we did see is we saw price come down, and we talked about it breaking this level and retesting, and it did. It broke, and it actually moved down, and it was actually down about 43 pips to the downside. Okay, so we had talked about taking a short out of this level, right, which was a prior zone, and we were looking to go long until we saw this, until it based right in front of the level, and then kind of just went sideways and then made another attempt and then pushed. Broke it, retested, and again, you could have gotten short off the large area or off the basing level that was formed here. Okay. And again, this is, it's about 12 pips. Okay. And off that zone, you absolutely, without a doubt, got your 3-to-1. Okay. Now, had you done it off the full level, you obviously would not have made it. You're 3-to-1. But your total risk on this was about 25 pips, and this was down 40. So you were almost up 2-to-1. So you'd still technically be in the trade. You would not have been stopped out of the trade. You'd still be positive the trade. But again, this is why you also drop down to lower time frames and kind of look at this one if you need to. All right. But again, that's why we talked. And just again, as a reminder last night, we've been talking about this one for weeks. We marked it here. We marked this lower level. We said, why not take this long when it hit here? Well, because it came down before the level and then based. And what that means is there are sellers. And that's exactly what it did. Came through, Harry Pottered, came up, retested, and continued to fall. No, Sir Loftus, we do the indices. I do currencies first. On the Nadex presentation, I do indices first. The nighttime presentations, I do forex first, and then the indices. Yep. All right. So we're still kind of in a short in this one. I would actually probably keep that short in. Actually, I don't think we can see it on this one yet. We're gonna have to go back to here. Man, where the heck is it? I lost it again. This is that one that was like really hard to find. Yeah. See, we got room back to the downside. So yeah, I would keep that short in. I do like this short still. Oops, not that far. Okay. Again, I like to see this push a little bit lower. But yeah, so that was the short that we talked about last night. So that trade is still on. Continue that one short. So pound. Pound got some legs last night. Pound went crazy. This is the move that I expected yesterday out of Pound. We were looking for a pullback much, much higher. And all it did was it came down and it actually slammed into that level and rode along that level, right? Moving it back to last night, you guys see that we had a level sitting right there. Now, just like the last position where we had to change our thinking on it, this is kind of the same thing, okay? When you see price turn and start to move away from your level, that's called getting front run. We got front run in this position. We got no entry in the position. And again, when it comes back up again, when it stops beforehand, it does a little bit of basing and starts to pull away. It's looking for more orders to drive through the level. And that's exactly what it did. So we had talked about this last night about being a nice little level. And there was a nice pop out of it. It was just so nice that it got front run here and the position left without us to grab more orders, and then it collapsed. So, I mean, it was up almost, it was not a bad little, you were about 75% of the way through to a 1-to-3, but it left without us. We actually didn't get entry. It never actually touched the zone. So there's nothing we can do about that one. And again, when it turns right beforehand, the loan you got to take the level off. It's a no trade. So right now, price is all the way down here, and you guys can see that we are sitting down here inside of 1 hour zones. In fact, on the 4 hour, you can see when price goes across this light gray level, it is an area basing. It did pull back, it did base, and then kind of punch through, but it's not really the cleanest level. You really can't see much on the daily. You can see it on the 1 hour, and that's about it, right? And you can see it's this level right here, which I do not like. And the reason why I'm not a huge fan of it is because, yes, these two, tiered up, but price is here, and then here, and then here, and then here. So not really like a clean level. This is really the first clean level all the way down here. So for me, it's, it is what it is. I think this one will continue to collapse, and I think it will continue to break through. I'm looking for kind of a clean break. Like there's one area here that you could mark off and say, hey, listen, if price gets back up to here, I'm selling. It's okay, but it's a little bit far away. It's about 70 pips away, about 65 pips away. I'm looking more for a base down in this zone, somewhere in this range. I'm looking for a break, basically. Let's see, do I have it on the 30-minute? No, but you can see even on the 30-minute. I want price to. I like how it's basing now. I'm looking for a pop down so I can get a new level for a pullback. Is really kind of what I'm looking for. Ideally in this one, I mean, if we, if this is our base and we suddenly get a pop down, now I have my entry level to kind of get in the continuation for this trade. It would be great if we could paint, 4 red bars down. Then I have this zone. Then we can wait for a pop at 2 o'clock when the London Open happens and all the London data comes in, and then take it off, take it short, to go lower. But right now, it's just not enough. There's not enough explosive movement out of this one to draw a zone. But I'm definitely I'm bearish again this position. I think the news tomorrow morning is also going to be bad for the pound, and it will continue to push lower. I just don't have a great entry. The best one right now that we have is literally sitting right in here, and I guess if I really wanted to kind of shrink it in, it'd probably be about there, right? I'd be using the top of the green body, but using this entire red wick. So you'd be looking at something along these lines, okay? Right about there, okay? And that comes in at approximately right about there. 131.52 is where that zone is kind of formed on the upper side. So again, match it up to your charts. Looking for a pullback. Ideally, though, I want to see a base here, and I want it to drop, and I want to form a new level right here. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Euro dollar or pound dollar. Pound dollar, obviously 115 down today. This one had a big push. Now we had an alert set on this one. We had an alert set kind of right in this zone. Not only did this alert get blasted through, but if I move this, look what happened. What did we see here? So our level got busted, which again is going to happen. But again, we got to be, on the fly. There's your little triangle. What happened? Price came down. It formed enough white space to draw a triangle. It came back up. It touched the level, and it dropped. So it ended up giving us a Harry Potter. So the original trade setup did not work. And again, that's going to happen, right? The original trade setup did not work. But did the breakout after work? Yes, it did. And again, this is why it's like, oh God, I lost one trade. I'm done for the day. No, the original setup, again, it just blew through this. I mean, the pound grew some legs today. This is one of the biggest candles literally we've had since back here in the craziness back from the end of April. So nothing we can do about that one. Busted our zone, gave us a Harry Potter trade setup, hit, and went all the way to the downside. So it's also continuing to push lower, lower, and lower. So on a 4 hour, you can see we are pretty much clear till we get down into this range, down here at 122.78. So it's got a little bit more room to run. We're talking about 40 more pips till we get down to that level. On the hourly, you can see there's a bit of a zone down there. We're kind of going through it right now, but the zone actually started back here. So I'm looking for something in here, but I think what I'll probably do actually is wait. I think there is a bit safer. 22.30 is a little bit better of an area. That pop is nicer, and you can see there's actually a level on top of a level. I think is the one we matched up before. No, I didn't write it on there. Maybe. But this level down here, either one of these two works. This 22.30, the 21.90, 21.83, or 21.23. That's the proximal and distal on this zone. This zone, the green one, is actually what tested into the zone and formed a new level. And that's where the 22.30 comes in and the 21.83 comes in. Okay. Remove this. Whoops. Oh. I don't want to blow up everything. Just leave that there. We'll just put these. We'll just put those up there. And save those for another time. I think that's it. Yeah, it's fine. All right. So that's what we're looking for. A continued push to the downside. I don't know. Let me see. Would I do much with that level? No, I'm wondering if there's something smaller here. No, it doesn't look like it. No, I would not use a Harry Potter for this one. Just because of this level here. So, pound is not exciting today. The best way we're going to be to look at this one is really, I mean, before news. 30-minute range, again, I think these trades are still, I think you're still in a good position. I think if you can get this, if price can get back up to 23.87, I think you're fine here for a short before the news. I'm just afraid it's going to continue to drive a little bit lower. We may not get an entry, but good zone. I think this is good for not only the pound data, but especially the US data. What I could see this doing is getting a rally back off the pound data. And then if we can get up here before the unemployment number tomorrow, that would be a great little short. That's probably how I'll play it if we get a burst back up again. That's most likely what's going to happen. Okay. Euro pound. You guys can see Euro pound. Euro pound's up 49 today. So we've seen this one kind of bouncing back and forth. Again, we had a zone here marked off that it was pretty clean, right? We talked about this. It came down and kind of chopped through it, right, on the hourly. Actually, that was yesterday, right? So here's where we are now. Here's where we were last night, right here. Okay, going in and out. We talked about that zone. It ended up stabilizing off that zone and going a bit higher. If you drew this here, you can see what we bounced off of. Let's delete that guy. We're at a bit of a level now. I don't know that I would take that right now, though. Let's see. It's 9:30. News comes in at... News is coming in at 2 a.m. So we're talking about 4 hours worth of movement. It's 12 pips, so that's about 48 pips. That's a lot. We may actually make it to that top level. All right, so this is kind of what I'm looking for here. I think this will give us a little bit of a hiccup, but I think if it turns here, I'd be kind of surprised. I'm looking for that level right there for the London Open. If we can get price up into that range, here, right there at 87, 89. Looking to take a short on that one. Yeah, I think that's the best opportunity. Let me see. Hold on. Is there any minor news tomorrow for the? Yeah, there's a little bit. So these are all going to be the big movers. I was trying to see if there was any European data, but it's just French trade balances and stuff. It's not. It's nothing super crazy. Retail sales. I think we're good. I think we're fine. So for me, this is what I'd be looking for. There's your top. There's your bottom. I think you're good either way. And again, that's extending this green, extending the red. These are based off of 30-minute levels. Wait till we get to one or two extremes. I think that's our best bet. Would be taking profit there. And actually, let's just do it this way. Change this to green. And profit. There. Looking to take over those two levels. All right. Suck this guy back a little bit. There you go. All right. So top. Let me put the bottom price in. There you go. It's not going to let me mark that one off. All right. You guys got it. Not this one. This one is okay. I like this one better, Ernest. Although it's not marked higher, it's actually a wick over wick. See the retest candle right here? When price came up, it got immediately hammered back down again. Okay, this one didn't have that same type of, it gave a little bit of a pullback, but it's more just kind of a top. If you look to the left, this is probably bouncing off of a zone. Because this is a drop and a pullback here, there's nothing to look left at. It's a little bit fresher. And because, again, it pushed the downside base and then retested and only barely touched it. I mean, just barely glanced into it and then pushed away 3 candles. At some point, there were sellers in here. Price was unable to go past this wick over wick. That's why I would be a little bit more aggressive on this one. Now, the last couple times that I've done this and I said, yeah, I like the aggressive one, it's taken the conservative one. So, I mean, either way, it's not very big risk. You're talking about, this is a 10 pip zone. Not too crazy, right? But that's why it's this formation right here. Looking at, if you had to draw a box, it's this that I'd be looking at, particularly this red candle right here. Okay. Oops. Oh, that's the one thing right there. There we go. Perfect. All right, there you go. Euro dollar. So, euro dollar was not as impressive as we thought. Okay, so here's where we are now, and here's where we were last night. Okay, basically we had all this sideways movement. We hit the European Open. We dropped down 3 candles till about 5, 6 o'clock in this morning, and then it retraced back up again, and we just kind of started to fall. So, for the most part, we moved about 35 pips today. Okay. Was it really a kind of a great entry? No. I mean, we talked about wanting to get short in this position, and I'll extend these lines across. If you guys look here, I'll extend this where we drew last night. Now, did it break? Yes. Did it give us a white space? Yes. Did it go a bit higher? Yes. And it ended up continuing to break through. Timing this one with a confirmation entry was a little bit difficult because this was kicking it right around 9 o'clock today when we had the US-based news. That's what kind of gave us this flurry up and flurry back down again. Although we had marked this off looking for a short below, a break of this zone, after it broke through and the way that it broke through, timing had to become something that you were thinking about. And I think that this is this is the zone that I was looking at saying, hey, listen, if we can get back up to this level of basing, then I'd be willing to take a short. I did not get into this position, even though last night I talked about breaking through this, a Harry Potter to the downside. And again, it did drop. It did pull back up again. It went back out of the top and just, it is lower right now. I was waiting for it to come back up again, just based off the large explosion to the downside. Thought that was a better trade entry. Didn't get filled. But again, based off our analysis last night, we'd still be short. So at this point, we are, obviously on the bottom side of that area. So, at this point, you got to say, hey, listen, come on, you can select yourself. There we go. So I do believe right now, I do think that this is an attainable area to the downside. I think it's too late if you're not in it right now. But I think we will overcome that area tomorrow. Ideally for this one, what I would like, I would like price. I'd like price to be down at this level on the 1 hour. I'd like it to be here tomorrow before news. Okay. 4 hour wise, it's not at the bottom, but it is about 60 pips from where we are right now. The bottom is 102. Now, if we can be down here at the 102 for news tomorrow, I'm all over that. I love that idea. But I don't think there's enough European news in the overnight to get us that far. I think we'll most likely be down sitting in this range, in which case, you're looking for, longs out of that range, No, not that. Nope. Move this out of the way. Pop that in. Somewhere around there. 107.40 is kind of where I'm looking at for tomorrow. Okay. And again, I wanted to be there before news. All right. Dollar CAD. So, dollar CAD. We had talked about this level last night. Okay. There's 2 levels. There's one smaller one here, and then obviously a little bit more conservative one. We got front run on the position. After that fact, after that turn, it dropped about 33 pips. So it's actually in an area of buyers right now. And we're very, very high the curve. So you should be thinking, hey, listen, we should be looking for some sells in here. You guys can see it did bounce off a 30-minute zone. Oil had a bit of a, again, this move today obviously was based off of oil. Oil prices going up, better for the Canadian government, brings some strength back into their market. Again, here's the one, here's oil, right? Right here. Here's the 1030 number. There's oil. And then here's the afternight oil, right? Oil. Okay. Now, what I would like to see here is I'd like to see a little bit of a green pullback and then a break below. And I believe tomorrow that we have the ability to overcome this level of area. I think price will come back down to the 140 range. I think we are probably, whoops, not that one. Every time I hit delete, it's like, okay, what's going to disappear? This is kind of where I'm shooting for a target and a short, okay? I did not get into this entry, but I do think if we can break, even maybe break through like this zone right in here, breaking through this yellow kind of alert level, I think that, I think there's a setup in there. Oh, I wanted that one in the background. So something along those lines. If we can break through this level right here, the 141.12, I'm looking for targets down here in shorts. I want to see what time we hit it, how close we are to news releases. And again, even the European Open, I would not be against taking a short into that one. Yeah, I just feel that this one it's due for a red day tomorrow, just with everything going on with the news. So it'd be a short here down to this level. Okay. Euro pound. Or euro yen. So euro yen took an interesting bounce. The boy didn't make it. The boy is out on the floor. So we're getting a nice little bounce here. This one, we're what? We're down 8 pips from where we were last night. Okay. So with price here, the price was sitting right here last night. A little bit of up. It didn't even grab a level. A push down. Again, we had this, this line marked off here, but we didn't get as low as we wanted. It didn't really move much. It was pretty disappointing with today's number. So 8 pips in 24 hours. Not really any type of a trade setup. All the analysis from last night, I would say, would still be valid here. Be looking for price to come down to this 105.25 range, and then we're looking for longs. I really thought we would get more movement today than we did. I didn't expect it to really just drop and then come right back up again. Top to bottom, we were only talking about 21 pips. So very, very, very small day for the dollar yen. Hopefully tomorrow morning gives us the the bigger boom that we're looking for. As with today, again, today's number was not really that big of a miss. Tomorrow's number, I think it will be somewhat of a shell shock number. So I do think that there may be some more potential. And what I mean by that is, I think if price is in this zone tomorrow for news, I think there could be a good binary setup on this one. Something a little bit farther out of the money. Drop down to the 2-hour time frame to find that one. I can't look at it now. I don't have the strike prices. I don't know exactly where it's going to be at, but that would be the level that I'd be looking for. There is, smaller levels up top, but I really like that level. And then, I mean, this would be a heck of a move. But if we can move all the way up back into this zone, it's like 70 pips in the overnight. Kind of a lot. Can it move 30? Yeah, absolutely. So this is kind of the zone that I'm looking for, and then taking shorts out of that range is what I'm kind of looking for. I think that's providing our best opportunity, and actually maybe even just a little bit higher. If you guys look here, I'll pull this one. Pull this guy down. The zone actually formed here. So maybe even a bit higher in that zone. Like I said, it depends how close we are tomorrow morning. But that's what I'm looking for in dollar yen. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss is up 26. Okay, you guys can see we had big movement yesterday. And then today pushed up. Pushed up here at 5. Came down here at 9. Came back up at 10. Came back down at 12. And we're just slightly higher. So it's kind of stuck. You guys can see kind of a wedge formation, right? Whoops, not that one. You guys can kind of see this, right? Right? So I think this one will go a bit higher. I think we're due to push a bit higher on this one. I do actually like this zone. I like the reaction. Whoops. I like the reaction off of this zone. It's not the cleanest. There's no wicks at the top, but I do like the push off of this one. And I think on the 30-minute, was there? No, not really. But again, a green pullback and then a red push through. So yeah, I do like that one. I think that's probably not a bad area to take shorts off of, particularly tomorrow morning. That is about 30 pips from where we are right now. So it is definitely a doable trade, right? It is a doable trade. The ATR on the hourly is 10 pips, right? On the 4-hour, it's 24. Okay. We need that thing to move, what did I say? 30. So it absolutely is within range of getting itself up there. Obviously, the consolidation will have to kind of end. But again, when the European market opens, we'll get some Swiss data. And again, we could push push us up there right in time for the news tomorrow. So that's kind of handling that one. Actually, let me see. Let me check something real quick. What's that? 79.81. Yeah, it's a bit far. Yeah, I was looking at the touch brackets, and the touch brackets just don't match that one. We have a 97.67, but that's too far away. It'd be too much additional risk. There actually, hold on. There is. No, it's too far. I was looking at this one, see if that one would make sense, but it doesn't. It's a bit too far. It's about 19 pips past where it needs to be. Yeah, so unfortunately, there's not even a touch bracket for that one tomorrow. So, but I still think that is a valid zone. Like I said, I mean, we're talking about 15, 16 pips. If we can get up there before news, that could be an interesting setup. Again, you can think it's spot currency, but that was probably that could be an interesting binary trade for tomorrow. And again, it's not Friday, so we don't have to worry about news coming out and then the market flatlining. I think that's, with 2 days being left in the markets, I think we're good. All right, so let's go to NQ. So, NQ. Here's where we are now, and here's where we were last night, okay? So price had pushed out. We ended up hitting the zone, and we went about, it ended up spiking through and then coming back down to this lower level. More or less, though, it didn't do much today. It was more or less just sideways. So again, remember, this zone, once we had pushed all the way up to this level, it's pretty much an invalid zone. It had been touched 2 times, pushed all the way to the brink. It wasn't the best trade that we could have taken. I said that, hey, listen, let's see how it pulls up there again. It ended up coming up and ended up pulling back. But was it the best trade? No. Okay, so it did end up going higher. And I thought I removed it last night, but I didn't. All right, so now let's see what we have going on now. All right. I still like the 91.57. We didn't get the bump today. This one, and again, I think this zone will not be here by tomorrow morning. I think this zone will have broken, or it'll either bounce or it will break. Let me see. Do I have it on the 4-hour? There's not really anything on the 4-hour. Let's see. How much movement is that? That's a big move in the overnight. I'm just afraid that this one is too close. I mean, if we look back there, you can see that there is a basing level sitting right there. So I'm not surprised that that's where price turned off of. We are high on the curve. So you're going to have to be a little more bearish bias on this one. The number's bad and people are expecting it's going to be bad, but I think it's going to be even coming in at forecast, it's a huge number. I'd like to figure out how to get short this position, but we need to move just a little bit more. Let's see. What is it? 90.57 to 90.89. Let's see something. Let me check. Where are we touch bracket wise for the NQ now? Whoops. Let's see. We are sitting. KO39 puts us right in the middle of that green zone. The top side over here is 90.76. I have 90.89, but remember, they're off by just a little bit. Let me see. This is an hourly chart. Let me see if I can pull this on the hourly. Let's see. Hourly drawing. Let's see. Horizontal line. Oops. Duplicate it. Give me another one. Come on, let me move that one. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so that puts us in at 46 to 73. Yeah, we're just off. We're off by just a little bit. This is a 90. This is a 76. So it's just on the other side. So this KS39 is probably the one to be looking out for tomorrow. Again, it would be up here. That KO39. Okay, that would be this guy right here. I'll just go ahead and write it. Hold on. Let's do text. Turn this black so we can see it. We will do 89.26 to 90.76 KO. What did I say? 39. Oops. Right there. Okay. That could be a potential short for tomorrow morning. All right. Looking at the S&P. Let's see. S&P, we're here. We were here last night. See, I know why it turned. Not the best turning area. I mean, I get why it turned. Right? But not really the most ideal opportunity. Same thing on the downside. Let's see what we got here. The child is running through the hallway. I have one child passed out on the floor behind me, and the other child the 2-year-old is running through the hallways. And she didn't even have coffee today. I will tell you guys, oh, by the way, she was asleep by 11 o'clock last night, even though she had the Dunkin' Donuts. Caffeinated, cafe mocha or whatever it's called. Just for the record, just let you guys know she was not up all night. She is up right now, though, running through the hallways. So you guys can see, it makes sense why I can turn. This is on the hourly. You can see a huge pop off of it. You're going to have to mark it off as a level. That's what it hit, and that's really what made it push to the downside. On the 30-minute, I don't really like it. On the hourly, it's cool. Really, on this one, this is the exact opposite. I mean, NQ is kind of pushing and holding high. S&P kind of failed to go higher and then has pushed up back to the downside. So I would say the S&P seems like it's weaker than the NQ as far as what the news response is going to be. There is a smaller level. So, I mean, here's one level. And again, this one is also about, seeing if we're in a zone tomorrow. Okay, there is a zone sitting right here. There's kind of a hidden zone there. And we have this zone lower. This would bring us from about 33 points to the downside. So, I mean, again, you're going to have to match your numbers. But, I mean, this zone is not horrible, right? This zone sitting down here. Right? Price popped, retested, and then launched itself off. If we're down here before news, we're looking to go long. If we're up top or in one of these two little hidden levels, we're looking to go short. Those are really the best things that I got for this one. I don't even think. Let's see. That's at 28.17. Yeah. We have a 28.19. Actually, the 28.09 is the one that we had looked at yesterday. Yeah, because you guys can see, look at this. 28.08. 28.09. Okay, so this would be, if we're able to get into the zone by tomorrow, text, label, this would be 28.09 by 28.59. That would be KO 44. Wait, is that right? Yeah, KO 44. Right there. Okay. And again, depends if we're there for news. If we're not there for news, again, we'll see what happens in the morning time. All right. So that's what we're going to look out for that guy. Let's go down to Dow. Dow is also kind of in that weaker position, right? Now you guys can see, let's see, let's pull our times on this one. All right. So here we go. We were sitting right here last night. Okay. We had drawn this originally, and again, this was actually yesterday afternoon. Chart School was here. I don't think it saved the draws from last night. Actually, I'm almost positive. When the computer blinked out today, it erased the draws from last night. I'm almost positive because we would have removed that draw. Anyway, you guys can see that this is with price being right here. It came back up, grabbed that same level, which is fine. I know we'd marked that one off. It's a fine level, and you can see it collapse through. So this was an easy trade to set up today for the Dow. Dow, I would say, is probably, my thinking would be the same. Kind of if we're down in this range, again, there's a, a long possibility. And again, I think this is a little bit far in the overnight. But again, 24,087 would be the kind of the top side target for it. Now, the way this is pulled down, it is obviously bouncing off of this level of basing. I like this one more short as well. This one is also showing much more weakness. NQ is up here, right? S&P is kind of in here. Dow is the one that is the lowest on the totem pole right now. So, let's see, where is that 4 hour? Okay, so our 4 hour zone is here. Let me change this to something else. That makes it interesting. Looking to the left. How far is that? It's about 500 points. It's a big move. I gotta say, I like that one a lot better than this one. Oops. And here's why. This is not the original zone. Here's the original zone. And actually, I guess we can go back even further than that. Again, 1, 2, 3, 2 front runs off the little one. This number is 4. So what I would say is if we can get down to 23,054, we'd be looking for longs, and 24,087, we'd be looking for shorts. And again, this is on an hourly chart. You guys can pull the tops here and then go back to this last bottom here. Now remember, again, this is on ECN numbers, so the numbers are going to be slightly different for Nadex. Okay. All right. All right, let's do gold. Strawberry NyQuil and milk equals strawberry milk. Yes. Yes. Did mom slip her some NyQuil? Not yet. Not yet. Mom has threatened to go into the melatonin gummies. So the middle child, Reese, who was like 100 pounds, he has a melatonin gummy. 30 minutes later, he's like drooling. It's like a horse tranquilizer for him. Asher, who's the older one, he's like 20 pounds lighter than Reese. He's like the mid 70s, or maybe he broke 80 now. Different build. He's the one that's actually asleep behind me on the floor right now. He can take him, and he gets a little bit, he calms him down, but it's not like a horse tranquilizer. Like Reese is literally like drooling on himself. He's like, no, I can't stay up for 5 minutes. I need to go to bed right now. Asher will fight it, and he just gets grumpy. The baby, who knows? I mean, I don't know. She's like, can we give it to her yet? I'm like, no, everything says we definitely cannot give it to her. At 2, if there's extreme situations, we can give it to her. But yeah, so this is the debate. At the 2 o'clock, or at the 2-year appointment, that's going to be a question that my wife poses. Can we give her melatonin? But yeah, strawberry NyQuil may be a thing. So there's top and bottom, guys. All right, so go look at gold. So gold finally broke out of that area, and we had a little bit of movement today, right? Movement happened from 8:30 till 10, right? This right here, those 3 candles, and then that was it, right? We had all this junk being, whoops, not that one. I don't know where the heck that came from. We had all that sideways movement. We had one bit of movement, and then we had all that sideways movement again. So I'm actually looking tomorrow to figure out, depending on what the number looks like tomorrow, I actually do like this level here. I liked how this came down. It based. It did kind of pull back up, but then it collapsed pretty nice, right? It was a red, a nice green, and then a red down. So I know that we talked about 1777 and 116 or 1662 as being our tops and bottoms. We really need to clear that one. I think if we can rally in the overnight up into this range, I think there could be some type of a short tomorrow in gold. Now, if this number is absolutely horrible and 5 minutes afterwards there's a quote about, adding additional stimulus in, well, obviously that would be spiking gold. Again, if we push to the downside, there are buyers in this area, but not really a clean entry that I'm comfortable with. And you guys can see it. Wicks, higher 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 wicks. The only way that this price kept getting turned around is that buyers were stepping into this market. Okay, but it's not the cleanest of entries. So I'm going to still hold firm the 1717, 1662, but if we can pull up and get into this range, right around 1700, there is kind of an aggressive short somewhere in there if it's based around news. Okay. Silver just kind of bounced. We had seen this level before. We actually didn't even hit it. As you can see, it didn't come up to this upper level, didn't come to the lower, didn't come to either of these two. It's still consolidating. It's still sideways. So it's not like gold in the sense that it finally broke out. It's still sideways. Now, oil, let me pull oil. And again, I had the oil one saved from last night, but I lost it when the power went out and killed it. There we go. So, all right. We'll box some things out here. Okay, we had a level there. And actually, I think if we went back farther, you guys remember this from last night? Right there. Okay. So, there's kind of where the new levels form. Okay. And again, pull back. We didn't actually even make it. So there was really no re-entry today into this one. But what did I tell you guys last night? If we could rally back up into that range, we'd be looking to take a short. Now, you guys can see right here, 8 o'clock, we rallied up. We held. At 10 o'clock, we were still holding. It wasn't moving, wasn't going higher. Here was the short play. Okay. Here was the short play. I got 70% of those big red ones candles. Yeah. I mean, James, when it held here right in front of that zone, it was kind of like, hey, listen, it's literally butted up. It's trying to grab everything it possibly can without touching it to go farther. Great trade setup, my friend, if you got that one. Right? And we went from 27.50 down to what? 24.75? 24.50. Right? $3 move to the downside. Right? Pretty nice. And again, here's what I told you guys last night. If it rallies back up into the zone, if it gets anywhere close up to here, that's where we're looking the short. It went up, it held, and it stabilized, right? And for 2 hours, from 8 to 10:30, it didn't move. It was already in the correct position for people to get short. Now, what was the number, right? What was the number? I'll pull back. It was less than expected, which should be what? What does green mean? It means it is good for the price of oil. Look, they expected this. Oh my God, we got less. We have a shortage over what we got. That should make oil do what? It should make oil go up. Oil went down. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. This pop up and basing is all before the report. The report came out right here. There's where the report came out. Right here, right before the red candles. But what was the news? The news was supposed to be this. There was a lot less oil. There was 4 million barrels less than what we thought, which was green, which means it should have drove price up, and it drove price down. Why? Well, again, we were sitting up here in areas of supply. Okay, so again, this is why it's important to be able to understand candles, not just read where the wick is, where where this is, where our moving average is. We talked about this being high. We knew that there were sellers up there. That's what it hit before when it pushed down. It rallied, and then it held for 4 hours. All the way through the market open, didn't move, was waiting. There's the oil report. Everybody says, oh my God, oil is going up. Buy it. Bam. Thing got hammered to the downside. Okay. So, are these zones still valid up top? Yeah. If we can get back up to that range again, there are sells in there. Big question is, there are sellers kind of where we are right now? Is this going to hold? Okay, I'm very curious to see if this is going to hold or if it's going to be negative. And remember, today was bad news, tomorrow is going to be bad news, and Friday is going to be bad news. It's going to show there's a lot of demand. Although everybody's reopening, so I think that's the one saving grace. But bad news, bad news, bad news. And will people start rethinking the reopening and not? If so, there's a big gap right over here where price could be potentially next week. Okay. All right, guys. So with that said, let's go ahead and draw the. Let's do the drawing. It's 10. I got to figure out how to carry this kid to bed. He's getting to be a bit too big. When they're like 30 pounds, 40 pounds, even 50 pounds are fine. When they're 75 pounds of dead weight, it's a little bit harder. So, Tonight we won't have the big, the big push. I think my voice is still paying for it. Although look at Josh. Josh is like, I'm going for the 100 tonight. Look at this. Look at that. Josh was being sneaky. He like kind of put him in all night, so nobody saw it. So I'll give you guys about another minute at 1:03:30. I'm gonna close it down. I don't know. He's trying to bank back all the pip chips that he spent last night to keep Ernest from winning it. Is James in here yet? No, James has not snagged it yet. So you got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We're taking it down. Let's see if he can get it. James is in for one more. Oh, James is in. James is in for his one. Got 20 seconds to go. Ernest is like, I can't. He spent them last night. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Here we go. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. Will's like, I love it. Keep buying. Wait, look at this. Oh, yeah, Will bought one. I was like, Will's like not even buying. I'm like, yeah, but that one is free. All right, there we go. All right, let's see who takes it. He's got the best chance. He's got the highest percentage. Let's see if Josh can be the first one, since we increased the pip chip totals, to take the double. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Ooh. Close. T, that's your second one. And like, T, you've won like twice, right? Didn't you win at the end of last week too? I think you won last week too. Rigged. Hey, he had a 15% chance. 15 is not bad. But I think T won last week also. Yeah, see, you did win last week. I thought you did. See, guys, I'm telling you, the new guys are coming in, and they got some secret sauce that you guys don't know about. I'm telling you, I could have swore he won last week too. So that's twice in 1 week that T has won. Mm-hmm. Look at this, Carl sitting over here. Carl graces us every so often. T, where the heck you at? I know you're in here somewhere. Did I miss you? I feel like I'm missing you. I'll have to look it up later. I know you're in here. I can do a search. Let me see. T B I L A D E A U 21. Position 82. Did I not get there? I could have swore that. Oh, I guess it was down there. Position. Oh, you know what? I know why I was looking high, because you spent a bunch of pip chips. That's why. You were spending pip chips last night, and you spent little pip chips today. There we go. All right, now it makes sense. Once. Didn't even know. Yep. Yeah, you won last week too. I thought so, but you've bought a bunch of different tickets. Yeah, so you're using them for tickets. But yeah, congratulations. So look, he's got some secret sauce. He's learning how to play the game as well. So there we go. Ernest B busting that recipe. Debbie, were you even in the drawing? I didn't even see you in the drawing. Maybe you were. Maybe you weren't. All right, guys. So, most likely we'll do chart school tomorrow night. Depending on what's going on, I'm going to make sure that the boy is okay. If he has a meltdown tomorrow night when he goes to bed too, what I may do is I may push chart school tomorrow night back to Friday morning for non-farm, and do kind of like a pre-non-farm release. And then we'll kind of look at levels to see what's even close. That's one option. Okay. If he's fine, if this is just like a temporary thing tonight, then yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow night at 9. But worst case scenario, we'll do non-farm payroll. We'll get on at like 8 or something like that, or like super early, to go through and see where the levels are. All right. All right, guys. With that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Hopefully I don't throw my back out picking up, 80 pounds worth of, totally passed out boy, throwing him in his bunk bed. So I'll catch you guys later. Take care.